The Republican National Convention kicked off a night of support for President Trump heading into the 2020 election. President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence officially accepted the Republican nomination. The president will be featured on every night of the convention. Tonight, he thanked frontline workers for their service during the pandemic, including a police officer from Inglewood who contracted COVID and has since recovered. A big focus of the night, what America could be like with President Donald Trump in office for 4 more years versus an America under Democratic nominee Joe Biden. Speakers there to highlight the potential differences included former United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, and the president's son, Donald Trump Jr.
And President Trump will do it again. We will be stronger than ever because when we put our mind to it, there is no obstacle that America can't surmount.
Political specialist Shaun joins us in the studio tonight. Shaun, while we're hearing from many party leaders throughout this week, Colorado's U.S. Senator Cory Gardner is not going to be one of them.
He told me tonight he has never spoken at a Republican National Convention, so this year is no different. Instead, he is campaigning across the state, a state where the RNC has made an historic investment this year with 12 field offices, 50 paid staffers, and 17,000 volunteers. The state party says they've made contact with 3 million Colorado voters, and they insist there are plenty of silent Trump supporters in Colorado.
But I think a lot of the silent majority that people may talk about, it's off of the I-25 corridor. It's the Eastern Plains. It's the Western Slope. It's 20% of the counties in Colorado who tried to secede under John Hickenlooper because he called rural Coloradans backwards and that they just needed to get rid of some of their beliefs so that they would fit in with the people of Colorado. I think they're the people who feel like they've been forgotten.
The convention is also focused on suburban voters, especially women who outvote men. Among the speakers tonight was a St. Louis couple charged with felonies after pointing guns at protesters marching through their neighborhood. The president has warned that Democrats will allow anarchy in suburban neighborhoods. They say he is trying to pit white suburbs against Black Lives Matter to win votes.
I don't think it's right to pit anyone against anyone, but what we have to realize is rightful protesters need to have the ability to speak, to let their concerns be heard. In this country, George Floyd touched our souls in a way that perhaps nothing has in recent memory. And we need to learn from that to act and respond accordingly so that we never see that tragedy repeated again. But we can't compare those peaceful protesters to the violence and the mob and the people throwing bricks at police officers.
Gardner says he hopes the convention conveys optimism about the future of the country. While most pollsters have written off Colorado as a swing state, Gardner says they shouldn't. He noted that Republicans have made gains the last 3 presidential elections. John McCain lost the state by 8 points in 2008, Mitt Romney by 6 in 2012, and Donald Trump by only about 4 points in 2016. Gardner says Republicans wouldn't invest in such a robust operation here if they didn't think the state was in play. And I did ask Gardner's opponent, John Hickenlooper, for an interview during the DNC.
Right.
His campaign did not respond.
All right, Shaun, thank you for that.